welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Minutia. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and today I am starting a little reading vlog. I am participating in the Let's Get Graphic readathon, which is hosted by several ladies over here on BookTube. Keisha from A Book Like You, Gwendolyn Kensinger, and Elizabeth from Ponytails and Paperbacks. And these ladies have put together this 24-hour readathon from March 3rd to March 4th to just read graphic novels. And I read some graphic novels, not a lot, and I've started a couple of manga series as well, and manga counts as well for this. Basically anything that's in a graphic novel manga kind of format. And so I'm really excited to just take a day and just kind of spend time reading some graphic novels or manga that have interested me. I didn't even talk about this in my March TBR because that video was just like so long and I hadn't really fully composed like my TBR for what I wanted to be reading, and my TBR is actually a lot longer than it needs to be. It's just, I just kind of have a pile that I'm just gonna kind of go through, some of which I have physically that I've gotten from the library and some of which I have on Kindle. There are 3 prompts for this readathon. So one of them is having an animal on the cover, and another is like a color palette that you love, and then the last one is a one-word title. So some of these will work for multiple prompts, some of these will work for none of the prompts, but I just thought they looked fun. I'm gonna start with the ones that I have physically. So I have been kind of hanging on to one of these for a little while that I got from the library and just hadn't gotten to it yet. And I was gonna read it, and then I found out about this readathon and decided to save it for it. So I have Spy Family volumes 7 and 8. So I've read up through volume 6, and so I have both of these. These are probably like a higher priority because I really, really love this series. I also have one that my daughter has read, and I think that this could potentially work for color palette because I love the blues on the cover, and that's 5 Worlds. This is the Sand Warrior. This is book 1. I feel like there's 4 or 5 in the series, but I'm not 100% sure. My daughter has really enjoyed them. They are, as you can tell from the front, very like fantasy oriented, and the illustrations are just really vivid and really lovely. So this is going on my pile, along with A Cat Story by Ursula Maria Husted. So my daughter's read this one before as well, and I just was purposely looking for a book that had an animal on the cover, and then I saw the spine that said A Cat Story. I'm like, ooh, and it looks really, really cute. I don't know if it is, but I love cats. If you've been here for a little while, you may know that we have 3 cats and also 2 dogs. So we are big animal lovers in our family. And then the last one I got from the library is Chef Yasmina and the Potato Panic. I don't really know at all what this is about. I thought it looked really cute. I think it's about a girl and her dad as a chef or something, and she wants to become one as well. Or maybe he's not a chef and she just wants to be a chef. I'm not totally sure, but it just looked really cute. And then I have 5 that are available on Kindle right now that I may potentially pick up. One of those is The Apothecary Diaries by Natsu Hyuga. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not. My good friend Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, she loves this manga series. It is like one of her favorite manga series. And I've been asking my library to buy it, and I haven't yet, but I did find it on Kindle, so I may give it a try. But I don't know, maybe those volumes are a little longer than some of the other graphic novels that I have. So that one might be a little bit more on the back burner. I also have When Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson is the illustrator, and she's illustrating Omar Muhammad's story. And I think it's about him and his brother as refugees. And I've heard a lot of people say wonderful things about this book, the graphic novel, and also there's an audiobook, and I've heard the audiobook is excellent as well. But I feel like an audiobook of a graphic novel, like it's better to just look at the beautiful pictures. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but quite a few people I know, this was one of their favorite middle grades of the year last year. It sounds like a really powerful story, and also on an aesthetic note, it does have a color palette that I really love. Probably my favorite color palette out of any of the books that I'm talking about. I also have 2 books by Nidhi Chanani. One is Pashmina and the other one is Jukebox. And so both of these are Indian, and they have to do with different things. I think Pashmina might have to do with like a magical scarf or something like that. And then Jukebox has to do with I think, time travel with this like magical jukebox where these girls are trying to find their father, and they go through different like historical things and stuff. So that one sounds really cute. Both of those have a one-word title, so either of those will work for that prompt. And so will my last graphic novel, which is Wingbearer by Marjorie Liu. And I don't really know what this one is about. I might have read the synopsis before I request it, but I don't even know if I did, because I love the cover. This has a good color palette as well. And it has animals on the cover, so I guess actually it fits all 3 prompts. So I need to read that one and then I'll have fulfilled all the prompts. But it just looks so fun. Like, it looks so fantastical and like animals on it, and it just looks really beautiful. So those are the books that I have on my pile of possibilities. I'm not planning on getting through all of these. I just wanted to have options that I could kind of pick and choose through. So I will update you as to which ones I end up checking out. It's update time. My daylight is quickly waning, so it's very possible that the quality of this video is gonna be trash. But I'm just gonna do a quick little update because I have finished 2 graphic novels, both ones that I have physically. So the first one was Chef Yasmina and the Potato Panic. So this young girl, she loves to cook and it's her favorite thing. And her dad works for like this fast food restaurant. And she has like this garden that she shares with these 2 guys who live in her neighborhood, and they fight like cats and dogs over the way that they should grow, kind of like an organic, not organic, you know, all this kind of stuff. But she gets fresh ingredients from them and cooks for her dad, and he brings them as like lunch to work and all that kind of stuff. And the beginning is so cute, and then it gets really weird because something happens where their community garden gets taken down, and it's really weird, the motivations behind it and what ends up happening, and it is strange. It's really weird. Like, I finished it and Claire walked in, she's like, "Did you finish that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What do you think of it?" I was like, "It was weird." And she's like, "I know." I was like, "Oh, did you read it?" I didn't realize she read it before me. It's really strange. So I've probably read it like maybe 3 stars because it's really cute, but it gets like really strange. Like, I think the whole point was about like locally sourced food and, you know, more naturally cooked foods without all kinds of additives and things like that. I think that was the point that the author was trying to talk about, but it was weird. And then I read A Cat Story, and this was really sweet. The story itself felt very childish and simplistic, which is fine. This is a graphic novel intended for children, but I was just kind of hoping, I guess, that it would seem a little more meaningful. I don't know, because some graphic novels really do. They tackle really interesting or difficult topics, and I guess I wasn't totally expecting that because this is about cats, but it just felt it's about these cats, and they live on this pier, and this one right here, the white cat, she really wants a family, wants to be adopted, but like homes just don't keep her because she's a stray, and so they just put her outside and stuff, and she just wants a place to belong. And so she finds out about this kitten story, which is supposed to be like a childhood story about this door that you go through and there's a garden, and all the humans are so nice and all the cats are always taken care of. So she goes on this quest to find this garden with her friend, this other cat, and it's very uniquely done because you have all these really cute, well illustrated pictures of cats, but then intermixed you have like these art pieces that are part of the story. So as people are telling their story or telling her what she needs to do, like they are telling her stories and telling her things through actual like artwork that's in it. And I felt like that was really, really unique. I have never seen one like that where it has like art styles that are all so different, like from all different stages, and all of them look incredibly different from like the regular illustration. So I thought it was really cute. I liked it. Not a new favorite, but I did really enjoy it. And if you're a cat lover, I think you would too. That's my update for now. I'm gonna go have some dinner and I'm gonna read some more this evening, but I'll probably give my final update tomorrow when the lighting is better. And also I didn't really start reading until like close to noon. So with the 24-hour readathon, I do have this evening and tomorrow morning to get some more read. So I will update you some more in a bit. Hello my friends, it is time to wrap up the Let's Get Graphic readathon, and I'm going to share with you the rest of the books I ended up getting to. I did not read all of them, but I did finish several more and then had one that like wasn't really for me. So I did finish volume 7 of Spy Family. Didn't get to volume 8, but volume 7 leaves off with a job that the mom, who is actually an assassin, has taken, but she hasn't actually like done the job yet. And so I think that probably volume 8 is probably going to follow that. So I'm kind of really interested to see where that ends up going, but I really enjoyed this one. I love this series in general. This kind of seemed like it had like 3 stories that weren't all that super interconnected, as opposed to a lot of the other ones, which feel like they're a bit more connected. So I guess I liked it a little bit less for that, but Bond does play a big role in one of the stories in this volume, which is really, really nice because he really wasn't in the last volume at all. Then I also read 5 Worlds, The Sand Warrior. This is a graphic novel that my daughter has really, really enjoyed. It's a sci-fi and it's about these different people and they have different worlds, and each world has like a beacon, and they're talking about like lighting these beacons, and I'm not really sure how that's going to help. I felt like the story itself was kind of convoluted and confusing, and I didn't really feel attached to any of the characters. I do feel like the world building is interesting, but I feel like it's a little bit confusing. So this is the main girl here, Una, and her ability, like she's able to manipulate sand, and that has something to do with lighting the beacon, and I don't really know how, and there are these issues in the world and things that are happening, and I think that lighting the beacons are going to help with that. And then she encounters these 2 boys here, and they're all from like different walks of life, and they're like different races and stuff, and so I feel like the world building has a lot of potential, but I don't think that I loved this book enough to really continue on with the series. But my daughter has really loved it. I think she's read either 4 or 5. I don't know how many books there are total. I think she's read at least 4 of them though, and she really likes them. So then I started Wingbearer, and Wingbearer is a graphic novel fantasy about this girl, and she lives in this big tree where apparently the spirits or souls of birds go when they die, and then they are like kind of like reincarnated in this tree and then come out and our new birds and go back out into the world, and something happens to where the system of that is kind of disturbed. And this young girl, she is the only human that is living there. It's all birds otherwise. And so it's kind of mysterious what's going on with her, and they're hoping that maybe she can help figure out what's going on. She can break the cycle. And that's about as far as I got. I will say that unquestioningly, this has the most beautiful artwork out of any of the graphic novels that I read. I just think it's gorgeous. It's so lovely. And I really love the artwork, but I just really couldn't get into the story. I was really having a hard time with it. It just felt like, I don't know, I really wasn't enjoying it, unfortunately. So I DNF'd that one. I got about, I think, 17% of the way through, and then I was like, wow, there's a lot of this left, and I'm not really enjoying reading it for whatever reason. I don't know if it was my mood or what, but I just really wasn't enjoying it. So I decided to move on, and I moved on to Jukebox. And Jukebox was okay, I guess. I really liked the concept. So the concept is that this young girl, her dad is really into music, and so is she, but her dad is like really like obsessively into finding old records and stuff, and he ends up going missing. And so her and her cousin decide that they're gonna try to figure out where he is, and so they go to this record store that he frequented, and they stumble across a jukebox, and when they put these first edition records on the jukebox, it transports them back to the time when these records came out. And so I feel like the premise was really cute and really interesting, but it just felt like incredibly like shallow and unfulfilling. And honestly, I felt like it could have been a lot more than it was, unfortunately, so I didn't really love it. At this point, I do have regrets. I feel like I should have read When Stars Are Scattered, because I feel like that is the one that I have heard the most good things about. I hadn't really heard anything about any of these other books except for The Five Worlds, because my daughter really enjoyed it. And then, of course, Spy Family, because I had read Spy Family as well. But I was really hoping to walk away with a new graphic novel book that I was just like, oh my gosh, this was so cute, and that I felt so connected to. And I was just kind of missing that, I guess, in all of the newer graphic novels that I picked up. But I wasn't feeling like reading something really heavy like When Stars Are Scattered, which I'm sure I would have had an emotional attachment to. But after finishing some bigger and heavier books, I was ready for something a little bit lighter. So yeah, so I think that overall I read a lot of graphic novels. I tried a lot of new things and didn't find really any new favorites, but there were some that I did still enjoy. I think the one that I enjoyed the most is Spy Family, which I guess is really not that surprising because I already knew that I really liked that series. I do wish I had read When Stars Are Scattered and maybe started the Apothecary Diaries, because I think I would have liked both of those more, but I was kind of like trying to fulfill prompts, and most of those didn't fulfill prompts, and I was just looking for something quicker to get through so I could try more things. But it was fun to take 24 hours to spend on graphic novels when that's not something that I typically read all that often. So I am really glad that I participated in this readathon and found some graphic novels that I'd never even heard of to try. I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Do you have any graphic novel recommendations that you have read recently, or manga? That's fine too, that you felt like were just really well done story-wise, and you had like a connection to the characters, but still felt like really fun, because that's kind of what I was looking for in these, rather than ones that are just like a little bit more heavy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and also subscribe so you can continue to see more bookish content from me, and I will see you again next time.